I smelled her perfume before I saw them. It was the same cheap lilac scent my sister, Claire, always wore, the one I used to tease her about, the one that lingered like frostbite on skin. It hit me the moment I opened the bedroom door. The smell shouldn't have been there. Not in our room, not on our bed. Then came a sound, a stifled laugh, a whisper that wasn't mine. My husband's voice, low, familiar, tremulous with pleasure, saying her name. I don't remember screaming. I remember the way the world tilted, like the floor itself had lost faith in gravity. I remember the sheets, tangled and wet with sweat, and the sight of two people who had once been my whole world, now staring at me with the wide, panicked eyes of the damned. "Lena, wait please," he started. But I didn't wait. I think I laughed. It wasn't a sound I recognized, more like something breaking loose from inside my ribs. The next thing I remember, I was outside, barefoot, keys clenched so tight they drew blood. My body moved before my brain could catch up. I drove for hours that night. I don't even remember the road, only the silence that followed. When I finally stopped, it was in front of Evelyn's house, my mother-in-law. I don't know why. Maybe because she was the only person who'd ever looked at me with the same mixture of pity and pride my own mother used to give before she died. Evelyn opened the door in her nightgown, her eyes widening as if she already knew. "Oh, Lena," she whispered, pulling me inside. I collapsed in her arms like a child. The dam broke. Every word came out jagged and raw. She didn't interrupt, didn't try to soothe me with empty phrases. She just let me cry until there was nothing left but shaking and silence. When morning came, she made me tea and said, "You can stay here for as long as you need." And so I did. Days blurred together after that. I filed for divorce, changed my number, ignored the 100 calls and messages that came after. Claire tried to reach me, too. Letters I never opened, voicemails I deleted before listening. Evelyn didn't speak of them either, not at first. We moved through the house like ghosts sharing the same air. She'd hum while she cooked. I'd sit in silence pretending to read. Sometimes we'd watch old movies together, her hand resting lightly over mine. There was comfort in the quiet, a fragile kind that only exists between two people who have both been betrayed by the same man. Then one evening, 2 weeks later, there was a knock at the door. It looked smaller somehow. My ex-husband, Michael, his hair unkempt, shirt wrinkled, eyes bloodshot. "Mom," he said softly, glancing past her to where I stood behind the doorway. "Please, can we talk?" Evelyn's face went cold. "No, Mom, you disgust me." He flinched as if struck. "You don't understand." "Oh, I understand perfectly," she snapped, her voice steady but trembling. "You brought her into your bed, Michael. Her own sister. How could you?" He looked at me then, eyes pleading. "It wasn't, Lena, it wasn't what you think. It just happened. I was drunk. Stop." My voice barely made it out. "Don't you dare try to rewrite what you did." He took a step closer. "I made a mistake. I lost control. You can't just erase everything we had." "I'm not erasing it," I said quietly. "You did that for me." Evelyn's hand was trembling as she slammed the door in his face. Through the window, I saw him standing on the porch long after the lights went out, a shadow against the night, too stubborn to accept that the door was closed for good. Weeks passed. Evelyn refused to take his calls. I pretended I didn't care, but part of me still replayed it every night. The way he'd looked at me that morning, half regretful, half entitled. One night, I found Evelyn sitting at the kitchen table long past midnight, staring into a cup of cold coffee. "You know," she said softly, not looking at me, "he was never like that as a boy. Always so careful, so kind. When his father left us, I thought I'd raised him better." "You did," I said. "He made his own choices." Her lip quivered. "Blood's a strange thing. You want to hate them, but you can't." "Not completely." I reached across the table and took her hand. "You're not the only one." Her eyes filled. "I loved you like a daughter, Lena. And he took that from me, too." We sat there in silence, both grieving the same man for entirely different reasons. But grief has a way of twisting into something else. By the third month, the pain had become quieter, not gone, just reshaped. Sometimes, when Evelyn and I cooked dinner together, we'd laugh. It surprised me every time that laughter could still live in the same house as betrayal. And then one morning, while cleaning the attic, I found a box. Inside were photographs, old family pictures, letters, wedding invitations, and tucked between them, a recent envelope addressed to Evelyn. The handwriting was unmistakable. I hesitated, but curiosity is its own kind of cruelty. I opened it. Mom, I know you hate me. I deserve that. But please, talk to Lena. Tell her the truth. It wasn't her sister's fault. I forced it. She tried to stop me. She's not the one who betrayed her. Michael. I dropped the letter like it had burned me. The room spun. No, no, that couldn't be true. Claire had been smiling, laughing. She'd reached for him. I saw it, didn't I? But memory is slippery when soaked in pain. I carried the letter downstairs, my pulse pounding. Why didn't you show me this? Evelyn froze, the color draining from her face. Lena, you knew. She looked away. He sent it weeks ago. I didn't believe him. I didn't want to. I felt the floor tilt again, that same sickening lurch as the night I found them. My mind splintered between images, Claire's perfume, Michael's guilt, Evelyn's silence. If it was true, if he'd. My stomach turned. Evelyn reached for me, voice trembling. I wanted to protect you. By lying to me, her eyes filled. By letting you heal. I wanted to scream, to break something. But instead, I walked outside into the cold November air and stared at the sky until my breath came back. Somewhere behind me, Evelyn began to sob. I never found out which version was true. Claire disappeared from town. Michael never tried again. Evelyn never mentioned his name. But sometimes, late at night, I hear Evelyn crying in her room. And sometimes I wonder if she knows something she'll never tell me. Something that would break us both all over again. People talk about betrayal like it's an event, a single moment when everything shatters. But they're wrong. Betrayal isn't the breaking. It's the echo. It's the silence that lingers in the spaces love used to fill. And in Evelyn's house, that silence still hums, steady, patient, unforgiving, like the sound of a wound that refuses to close.